Listen, what do you think about masks? How effective do you think they are?
I think they're pretty sexy.
I mean, I agree. I'm wearing one right now.
I'm not sure if the change in our behavior when we mask is making us more protective or if the mask. There are lots of arguments to be made for and against masking. What I do know is that when I see people masking more or those initiatives are taking place, I do see changes in behavior, just even at the grocery store. I see that people will be more polite. They'll give each other a little bit more space. So just like you're being with your in-laws, you're not crowding them close because you want to protect them, you're giving them space and distance. I see the same thing happen in the grocery and out and about, that when that happens, people's behaviors change. They think about where their hands are.
I got 2 takes.
And they think about giving space.
I got 2 takes for you.
Whether the mask on the face itself is enough.
I got 2 takes.
Boy, I sure would like to see a good trial on that.
I got some takes on this.
All right, go.
So, first off, right, my take on masks is that you can still transmit viral loads of COVID through the mask. You can. It's not a foolproof barrier. As a matter of fact, I think it's very minimal in terms of preventing the spread of COVID. What I think it can help with, though, is you might be transmitting less virus particles to somebody because you have a mask on. And if they have a mask on, they're receiving less viral particles. So you're still going to get COVID, but you might just get a less severe version of COVID because you're inhaling less virus particles.
Depends on your body and the replication of virus in your body. But if there's less viral particles to be inhaled because both people are masking, then presumably we are cutting transmission.
I think that's a valid statement to make. Okay? But here are some of the other concerns, right? And I think the concerns far outweigh the benefits. I'm going to tell you why.
Okay. Let's hear it.
I think that when people have masks on, there's an illusion of protectiveness. So people will actually wind up becoming closer and closer to each other. As a result of that, like if you look at the BLM protests, almost a lot of people had masks on in the BLM protests, and they were crowded like sardines with each other. 15 million people throughout the country were protesting the racial injustice. Last year, a lot of them had masks on. They were also they were crammed together. They were very close to each other. They were getting tear gas. They were coughing because of being tear gas. There was all this stuff happened, and then you saw a massive COVID spike throughout the country, correlating specifically with these protests. So there's that. And also, I don't know if you've ever done any martial arts, or if your kids did any boxed or did any kickboxing or anything like that.
Swimmer.
Okay. So, if you actually were to study brain damage amongst boxers and kickboxers and whatnot, right? When you spar with headgear on, you're actually getting more brain damage sparring with headgear than you would without headgear.
So should football play without the helmets?
So there's arguments for that, actually. And you want to know what the argument is? Do you want to know why?
Okay.
Because it gives you an illusion of safety, right? So when people have these big helmets, football players will tackle with their helmet. Because they got the helmet, that's a weapon now. Right? When you're sparring somebody and you have headgear on, I feel more comfortable to hit my training partner harder because they have headgear protecting them. And I'm more willing to risk getting hit harder because I have headgear on and I feel an illusion of protection. And so when you're absorbing those types of blows consistently, you're more likely to actually get CTE because of the protective barrier covering your face or covering your head, even though it's a counterintuitive statement to make. So I'm going to give you the OB-GYN perspective. Yeah, go.
And I hope we can keep this family friendly.
Well, with the condoms? Let's go. I want to hear this. Yeah.
So, 25 years in OB-GYN dealing with transmissible viruses and bacteria and illness. Anything from HPV virus that causes cancer, to herpes, to chlamydia, to gonorrhea, to HIV, syphilis, and hepatitis. And when people want to protect themselves from the transmission of these kinds of viruses and bacteria, we have three ways to potentially protect. One is to choose not to be intimate with another person. Abstinence. And that abstinence is 100% foolproof, right?
100%.
So with COVID, we could choose not to interact with another human being, and we would have zero transmission. Problem solved.
Right, and then our city's trying to make a housing model based on urban density while we have viruses. All right, yeah, okay.
Well, that's for our follow-up podcast on the Planning Commission, right?
Another one. All right.
That's a different issue,
okay.
right? So we could choose abstinence. We could choose monogamy. So we choose our pods, right? In intimacy, we choose our partner. We stay with that partner. There's no other outside exposure. There's no risk.
Or you could choose using a condom with multiple people to be safe.
And what do we know about the protection? Condoms are barriers. They're not 100%. The condom use and protection runs about 75 to 85%, depending on user error,
well, it's
viral
like
load.
99%, but they say 99%.
No. I do not tell patients that.
Ah.
No, condoms are going to give you about 80 to 85% protection against unplanned pregnancy, against viral and bacterial transmission of illness. It's not 100%, but it does provide some protection. And that's how I feel about masks. It's not going to be 100%. The vaccine's not 100%. But if I start layering these options on,
hey, Jen,
I get really good
follow-up question.
protection, and then I can go back to living my life.
Follow-up question, though. Well, I'm still living my life, though, right? But anyway,
yes, you are.
Follow-up question. Which group of people is more likely to contract an STD? The group that is sleeping around with multiple people while always using a condom, or the group that is exclusively monogamous with their partner?
The multiple partner exposure.
Yeah, so therefore condoms. Therefore you could also say that
sure,
the best
not
condom
a fair comparison.
is no condom.
That's not a fair comparison.